I was just wondering what perspective you are looking to bring to the food community.
Well, my panel here today deals with food security issues, and my expertise is really in the area of agricultural and trade policy. And so I'll be talking a bit today about the importance of making sure that we look at the barriers to trade that keep food from moving to the places where people need it most. And a big part of being able to make sure that people are food secure, that is that they have food that is available, affordable, and have a variety of foods that are nutritious, is making sure that food can get to the places where people need it. And good trade and border policy is part of that. But trade policy done well also ensures that farmers have more options about where to send their products, and that they can then secure better incomes for their families and be more food secure themselves.
So you hear a lot of work trying to link farmers with resources that will help their communities be food secure, and as well as transporting food. And I'm wondering, with this new political administration, with being in the Capitol and trying to set the example, what kind of policies are we looking to next to ensure the safe and consistent transport of food to people who need it most?
Well, the transportation is certainly an issue, and part of that is food infrastructure. And, one of the areas of bipartisan consensus is the need for bigger infrastructure. And so we'll see if this new Congress and the new administration can find some common ground to do that. But when we look at our the Mississippi River Channel, we need to upgrade that to make sure that food exports from the United States can continue to move. I've spent the last several years as the chief ag negotiator at the U.S. Trade Representative, and one of the reasons that people look to the United States as the source of high-quality, safe food is because typically when the U.S. signs a contract to deliver food, we deliver it in a manner that is safe, high quality, and on time, and that's because of our infrastructure. But if we don't continue investment in that, we'll lose that competitive edge that we have with the rest of the world. But we're also going to be talking today a little bit about how our aid policies and our capacity building policies in the rest of the world should work and work better. And one of those things is helping to invest in that same infrastructure to increase livelihoods of farmers overseas, to make sure that they can safely store their food, to retain that quality and reduce post-harvest loss. And certainly as we try to feed a burgeoning population around the world, we can't really afford to waste much. So we need to look at how our assets and our infrastructure are in place to reduce that spoilage to deliver food as efficiently as we can.
So, as chief ag negotiator, how do you find common ground with the people on the other side of the table to say that it's a priority for us to be safe and efficient, and so many different things that the U.S. doesn't compromise on when we deliver food outward, but when we're bringing food inward, how do we make sure that, someone in your position would be saying there's a reason why we care about these things?
Well, absolutely. Again, trade policy, if it's done well, gives more farmers options on both sides of that table. And one of the things we tried to do was to work on creating the highest standards possible when it came to how countries would set their rules for food safety, for animal and plant health, to make sure that they were transparent and based on science, and that producers would know when they delivered their food, or processors, when their food hit a border, how would they be tested and evaluated? What would those standards be? Would they be fair? Would they treat domestic product and foreign product the same, so that it could move quickly and efficiently through those borders? Again, reducing waste, but also reducing the cost and risk of participating in the food system. So if you're a small producer, sometimes just that uncertainty of the border is what prevents you from participating in trade. And so to create a more predictable and rules-based system helps give opportunities to farmers, and on both sides. And, part of the reason that we pursued a more regional-based agreement, we worked hard on the Trans-Pacific Partnership, as you know, was to make sure that all countries were sort of following those rules. Because, again, if everyone's using that same platform, then the number of options for people to send their food greatly increases. And so that multilateral approach, the regional approach, has real benefits in that regard.